guys are back in it for the first time since last year. I mean, you've been last year, you won it 3 years before. Do you guys enjoy coming in? Obviously, you're coming in as the favorite because you've been there.
Well, I don't know that, I think each year is you have your own group. I don't think there's any real favorites. I think we, had a chip on our shoulder last year. After last year, I thought we felt we had a team that could have been here. So we kind of played that way this whole season. But, when you look at the other teams in here, any team that comes out of the North going through what they go through is a challenge. You look at what Orfordville did, and they got that guy on the hill who's tough as nails. Verona is what Verona has always been. So anything can happen. So I don't know if there's any favorites or anything like that for sure.
Obviously, the premium this year is on pitching in the Final Four. Have you ever, all the years that you've been, have you ever had a situation where you've had 4 teams that have the pitching is going to be the dominant factor?
Not that I can remember. You look at all 4 of these guys. They're aces, and they are true aces. Any one of them can shut down anyone at any time. So it might change how the games are played a little bit. Maybe there's a little more small ball, trying to move guys around, trying to get that first run. I never know. Maybe that first run's the only run. So it's pretty stacked on the hill for sure.
You guys have probably, I think, talking with the other managers, probably one of the better offenses and probably one of the more potent offenses. 1 through 9, you guys don't have an easy out 1 through 9.
Well, we're pretty deep, that's for sure. And I think part of that is just we're veterans. A lot of guys, almost all of our starters have been through this all before. All been through the 3 championships or whatever. So having those veteran leaders is I would say this is almost getting to be a veteran league. If it's not, it always has been, I think, kind of a veteran league. Guys who know how to get hits, guys who know how to move the ball around. We're pretty deep, so we feel pretty good about our lineup.
Do you think that that's an advantage to having a guy or having a veteran team like this? Heading into 2 away games, 2 games on the road, and 1 game at home.
Absolutely, it's got to pay off. Like I said, we got guys that have been through all 3 of these championship runs for the most part, our whole starting lineup, and a few guys on the bench for sure. So you know what you're getting into, you know the schedule, you know how it works, you know what the crowds are going to be like. It's just like a routine. It's not anything new or foreign to these guys for the most part.
Talking about pitching like we have, Ben looked good on Sunday. Probably one of the better games he's thrown in the last month or so, as far as his control.
Last couple of weeks, I would say, are 2 of his best games. He's really doing a good job mixing up pitches. There were times when he would get in earlier in the season, he would just get in that like fastball. He's really mixing up pitches well now. And I think he's got a veteran catcher back there in Stoffels now, who's kind of bringing him along on that as well. So he's throwing real well, at least his last couple of weeks for sure, but all season, but the last couple of weeks really coming into his own.
How big is it for a guy like Ben Wallace out there to have an offense like you guys have, where you start off Derek Vergensky, one of the 3 top hitters in the West, and then you go Pete's that probably leads the West in home runs, and you got Stoffels, and you got Spencer, and you get Scanlon back for the run of the playoffs. I mean, you got guys that have them, towards the second half of the season. All of a sudden, you're getting your whole team back. You get Zach back, and you get Scanlon back, and you get Stoffels back, who have those guys that have.
Yeah, as a pitcher, sometimes you kind of relax on the fact that, well, I look at my lineup, we're going to get 10 runs. But Ben doesn't treat it that way at all. He goes out there and he is so focused and intense. He wants to throw shutouts. He knows that we're probably going to get a few runs, but he doesn't treat it that way. He's thinking zeros every time, and he doesn't worry about the offense. He worries about his pitching, and he thinks that the offense is going to get it done for us.
And then the third key element there is you guys are one of the better teams defensively. Not a lot of, you don't give up a lot of unearned runs out there.
Yeah, and again, I think this probably goes along with Ben's success the last couple of weeks too. The last couple of weeks we've had 2 of our better defensive games. It's hard to overlook Scanlon at short. I mean, that guy, 2 years at Michigan State, started every single game. at shortstop. He's been through the battles. He's been through the wars. He knows what it is. He's so smooth out there. He's kind of the catalyst, a leader of our defense, and you got a guy like Derek out in center who catches everything. So defensively is crucial, and when you have Ben throwing as he is and playing defense as we are and hitting the way we have been, we're kind of hitting our stride at the right point, I would say, this year.
The only one key element in the infield, though, is that this has been probably a year that for change for Matt Peets going from third base to first base.
Yeah, and Matt's played enough ball. He understands how it works, and he can handle just about anything over there. Defensively, whether it's third or at first, he's done a real good job of adapting to it. You guys know, in home talent, guys got things going on. Guys got families. Guys got work. You never know. Sometimes some guy's not going to show up, and it changes your lineup. And he's done a real good job of adapting to that. I'm third this week, or I'm first this week, that kind of thing. So, defensively, we've had some kind of jumbles there in that position, but he's done a real good job going with it.
And of course, the other kid you got to talk about a little bit too, making changes, is Danny Klaus going from second base to third base if Peets is playing first, and you bring in a Clayton Brandt who hasn't been around for that long.
No, and Clayton has been so solid all year long. I think early on he was kind of trying to feel his way out, and he's been solid for us all year. He's hitting well over 300. He's played every game at second for us. And Danny is just a bulldog. He's a tough guy over there. He digs his nose in there. He's a perfect third baseman, to be honest with you. He gets right on there. He give me the ball, hit it off my chest. And he's got enough speed where he can go attack bunts and slow choppers. He's got a great arm. He's got one of the best arms on our team. So he's a perfect guy for third base.
The last question that I've asked every other manager: if you couldn't, your team, you couldn't pick your team as the favorite, which of the other three teams would you say would give you, is going to give you the most problem?
Well,
I would be the favorite role.
Hopefully, I'm going to answer this like the other three guys answer this and saying that they all can win it. Like you say, like we talked about at the beginning, the pitching is so tremendous in this Final Four. So you never know what's going to happen. You get a hot pitcher, it's just like they say in hockey, hot goaltenders can take you for as far as you need to go. Same thing in pitching. All these other three pitchers can easily get hot and just mow through lineups, no matter what lineup it is. And those guys are good enough to do it. So I would say it's about one of the most evenly matched Final Fours that I've seen in a while, for sure.
The key to is you guys have two on the road. You get to start at Orfordville against Lang, and you get to see Lang the first. If we have any advantage, it's maybe last year in the Night League Championship. We played Orfordville, saw Lang. We would have no idea what we were getting into on Sunday without that. So we've seen him. We beat him last year. That was last year. That doesn't mean anything this year, but at least you have some familiarity. You know what you're going to see. So if there's any advantage into any of that, I guess that would be it. But 2 games on the road, we've done that all before. I mean, on the road, you're going to have 2 on the road or 2 at home. That doesn't mean anything. Ideal scenario for Verona being you guys win the first 2, and so does Monona, and you get to go. Monona wins the first 2, and you get to go to Monona and have the final game decided in 3 weeks instead of 4.
That would be great. Pushing games back and having to 3-way ties or whatever, and coin flips and all that kind of stuff. That's tough to deal with. I mean, we just go out and take care of business. And the flip side of that is, you lose your first one, you're not necessarily out. That first year we lost to Sun Prairie. First game, we thought we were done. And you go out, you win your next 2. Some things fall the right way. So that first game isn't going to be the end all be all of it. So you lose, you stay focused, you come back, you win. It's still not over yet either. So we're looking forward to it.